Round two. I tag you in this one too.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that.
Just come on.
We are recording.
We are. Are we on? They're not even showing it to me on live yet. That's what's so funny. Okay, here we go.
Looking it up.
Okay. Funny because I tried to be live last week and it didn't record with somebody else, so I'm just like, I'm over this. Alrighty, let's do this. Okay, go live. Hey, everyone. It is so nice to see you today, and I am so excited to be here with Dave Doyle. If you don't know who he is, you will soon. He is a TEDx speaker as well as an organizer, and I've had the pleasure of getting to know him. Just an incredible human being, and I'm excited to speak with him today and give you guys a little bit of insight into TEDx and into the application process. So, Dave, would you be open to telling everyone a little bit about yourself and what got you involved with TED?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you very much for having me on. I love what you're doing. I've been following you on Facebook since we became Facebook friends, and you're kicking butt. And I love your energy. So thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to give you like the super condensed version of my whole timeline. Ready? So I started out always wanting to be an entrepreneur. So I remember in my kitchen with my mom when I was like 12, 13 years old. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be my own boss. I want to own my own business. That's what I always told her. Didn't know what that looked like. In my late 20s, I ended up getting involved with a franchise restaurant, Pita Pit. Ever heard of Pita Pit?
I've heard. Yeah. I love Pita Pit.
Yeah, me too. So I've been involved with Pita Pit franchise for 20 years. I have had 2 locations in Grande Prairie for 15 years. And so that's what I've been doing. I'm a restaurateur.
Cool.
I'm a franchisor. And then I became involved in the home-based business industry, network marketing. And so that's been a big focus for the last 12 years or so as well.
Cool.
And a bunch of other little things, including TED.
I love it. So how long have you been following TED? How long have you been interested in this platform, and what made you get involved?
I've been watching TED Talks for as long as I can remember, which, I mean, probably not since it first founded, but I mean, probably like 20 years. So, and TED is always now a go-to for me. So when I'm researching stuff or I'm interested in a topic, I don't just go to Google or YouTube. I'll actually go to the TED platform and search out a subject topic and learn from TED speakers because they always have really cool and unique perspectives on things. So that's kind of always been a thing. I didn't really pay attention to having the dream to speak on the TED stage, like concretely, although it was probably there in the back of my mind, until I really understood what TEDx was.
Right. So do you want to give people a little bit of insight into people that maybe don't understand that it's there's a TED stage, but then there's independents that are all over the place, and what that means to be somebody that stands on that stage?
Sure. Yeah. So basically TED is the big platform. That's the full organization. They have the big weekend events and all the events in the major centers, but then there's TEDx, and TEDx is kind of like a franchise system where somebody applies for a license to do TEDx talks, which is basically a TED talk, but on a more regional scale. Right. That doesn't mean you can't have people from all around the world attending your event, which we do, but we like to have a local flavor as well. So usually we're like half and half. We'll have half the speakers be local speakers, and then the other half we'll try to pull in to try to make it a bit of more variety, a bigger range, and a draw to have people want to come to the event. But yeah, basically it's just more of a regional event with a theme and getting speakers there. Now, the cool thing about that though is that a TEDx stage is just as powerful as a TED stage, and often is a launching pad for people. Like, for example, the biggest example is Brene Brown. Yeah. Her first TED talk was a TEDx talk. And, she, if you know the story, she flipped her idea last minute kind of thing and decided to go really raw and real and authentic. She thought she blew it. She thought she was terrible. And she had 1 million views in like a few months. It was crazy. And then that kind of launched her into what who she is today and what she's doing. So it absolutely can, it's a huge opportunity and a really, really, I think, elite platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really cool place because, it's ideas we're spreading. Like it's having a focused idea that you have a different spin on. So let's talk a little bit about your TED Talks and what it was about and why you chose to deliver that message.
Yeah. So for me, I've really been into a lot of personal development and personal growth for many, many years. When I first read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill about 11 years ago and saw PMA, which is right up here,
Love it.
which is positive mental attitude. And that's one of the main success principles in Napoleon Hill's work. And so when I kind of saw positivity as a success principle, it kind of made it really concrete and on purpose for me. And I actually made a decision that I was going to level up my positivity. So that has been my path for over 10 years now, consciously being aware of my attitude every day and trying to live with more of a positive outlook. And so through the activity of doing that over 10 years, you kind of become good at something when you're doing it steady for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And so I've become somewhat of an expert on it. That is what my personal branding is based on, which is the PMA professor. And that's what I talk about. That's how I live my life all day, every day, being an example of living with PMA. And so about 3-4 years ago, I had a moment, I had an epiphany. And this epiphany came along with my, previous 6 years of developing my positivity. And it was a very simple phrase and concept that just uploaded. And I'm not going to get into the details because it's in the talk and I want people to go watch the talk. But the concept came to mind and I looked on the internet for that specific sentence or phrase and it didn't exist anywhere. I couldn't find it. And that actually became the root of my TED Talk, of this concept of what the actual key to happiness is and a different perspective on how to look at that.
I love it. And what I really took from your talk and what I loved about it was that you talk about happiness as a muscle. Positivity is a muscle. It's not you flick on a switch, one day you're happy, one day you're negative, one day you're positive, one day you're sad. Like, it's not like that. It's a practice and it's something that we have to show up every single day and work through. And whether that's in personal development or surrounding ourselves with people that are like-minded or putting ourselves in front of people that make us uncomfortable, but know that we're going to level up, then all of a sudden that muscle gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and you start living this purpose-driven life. And so what's so cool is that your idea and your talk has actually developed who you are as a person and kind of taken you down a different path, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Now, can you tell me, I know that most people are terrified of public speaking. Like, they would rather swim with sharks. And that is not me. I'd rather speak than swim with sharks. But how did you get over the nervousness? How did you feel? Like, can you give them any tips on how that was and how that played out for you?
Yeah, so you're right. The fear of public speaking is one of the greatest fears of humanity, it kind of blows my mind. It feels ridiculous to me. And it's not because I am not afraid to speak in front of people, because I am. I get nervous every single time. If I didn't get some kind of nervous level, there definitely would be something wrong with me. But as with anything, the more just like you were just talking about, practice, right? The more you do something, the easier it gets and the better you get at it. But having said that, even though when I did finally do my TED Talk, I had a lot of experience in speaking in front of people and been on stages and done workshops and things like that, and keynote speeches and emceeing. So I had a lot of experience, but that was probably the most nerve-wracking thing that I had ever done. Okay.
No pressure.
None. And so as far as tips to get over that, good luck.
Breathe.
The reality is this: we all handle it differently. And I'll tell you about my experience in a moment, but we all handle it differently. And so the biggest tip I can give is become as self-aware as you can about what you need for you before you hit that stage or before you do an event. And I'm telling you, sometimes, like, we hear about all these stories about, the famous successful people who are in front of audiences and stuff. And some people have rituals. Some people have superstitions about before they go up on stage, or some people just have involuntary natural reactions, like they have to go throw up before they get on the stage. And it's, as crazy as that sounds, that becomes the routine. And if that's what it is for you, sorry, but that sucks. But
there's a term for that. We call it yak and rally.
Yeah, exactly. Yak and rally. I like that. I'm going to use that. So anyway, so when I finally did my TED Talk, I remember standing in the wings behind the curtain, being introduced, knowing I was going to be standing on that red dot in like 20 seconds and going completely blank. Like completely. Like it was an out-of-body experience. I'm like, oh crap. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I remember walking from the wing to the red dot thinking, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. And then I got on the red dot, and all I needed to remember was the first line. Okay. And as soon as I remembered that first line was, everybody stand up. That's all I needed to remember. And then it just flowed. Awesome. Then I was in my zone. I was in my flow. I knew what I was doing, and I was ready to go, and I nailed it. Okay. And again, I can nitpick all the little details. Of course, there's stuff I change and, stuff I'm embarrassed about or whatever. Well, why did I do that with my hands? Who cares? The point is, the talk was done and it was delivered and it went well because I knew my stuff. That was the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
Know your stuff and be prepared is probably the biggest tip I can give. If you know your stuff, you can't really lose.
Now, your talk was very, it actually came across very effortlessly. Like it's very conversational, the way that you speak. Now, did you memorize word for word what you were going to say, or did you have concepts and just have to remember like what your concepts were? How did you prepare?
So again, everybody's different. So for me, I don't like a script, because if I had a script behind my phone here right now, it'd be awkward. It wouldn't be comfortable. It wouldn't be normal. It wouldn't be a conversation. But the other thing is, some people want and need a script and are better with a script, and they can deliver off of a script, or a complete 100% memorization of a script, and they'll perform better that way. So if that's you, do that. If it's not, don't do that. There's no rule. The rule is do what it makes most sense for you and what is going to deliver the best performance for you. So for me, it's as long as I've got my key talking points, I definitely want to have bullets or bullet points. Like I can deliver a 3-hour keynote with a half page of bullet points.
Yeah.
And I'm good. Yeah. Because as long as I know my topic, as long as I know my information, right? So again, that's preparedness. As long as you know your stuff, you should be good to go. For a TED Talk, obviously you've got to have it timed. You got to have it nailed down. So yes, it is a very canned thing. But for me, I just had my slides to trigger what I needed to say. And those were my bullet points. So I knew what I had to talk about for that slide. And I just said what I had to say as quick as I could. And hope I got my time in there.
Well, I think too, when you are so excited about an idea that you want to share with people, you embody that. You think about it all the time. You know your stuff inside out and backwards. And I'm the same way as you, that I'm better in a conversation style and I don't want to say winging it, but I'm better at winging it than I am memorizing thing word for word for word. And I've been in that position before. I've been in that position because way back, I did pageants, and we had an impromptu section. And so I was answering a question on the things that I had learned and the skills that I had acquired. And all of a sudden my mind, like I thought about that question multiple times and what I was going to say and kind of memorized the points, right? But I blanked, and it seemed like 30 seconds, 40 seconds. It was probably 7, maybe 5, but it seemed like forever. And I just took this deep breath and I thought, and I learned the ability to speak in public. And I had a little smart smart ass comment, and then turned around and walked off the stage and people laughed. And I just thought, oh my God, but there's nothing you can do about stuff like that. So you have to just be human and move forward and catch up, like you'll remember, you might stumble over a word or not say things perfect and articulate everything perfectly, but you're absolutely right. Your idea's out there, and that's what matters. Now,
Absolutely.
Because I think maybe some people don't know about the whole like application process and know that it's free to speak. You guys don't pay anybody to speak there, that this really is a platform for sharing unique ideas that can change things or create a movement or really give people insight on different perspectives maybe. But do you want to talk a little bit about like what you would look for in an application if somebody was applying?
Okay, so the first thing is the motto of TED is ideas worth spreading, right? So that is the first thing that we're looking for. So when we're going through the interview process, that's actually one of the first questions is, what is your idea worth spreading? Tell it to us in like 1 or 2 sentences if you can. And I remember you were pretty tight, but I remember we did over 30 interviews.
Wow.
And we only had like 2 or 3 people that actually did that. Everybody else went on and on for 5 minutes discussing the whole concept and explaining everything, when really all we wanted was, what is the root foundation of your talk? And tell us it as fast as you can. We just want to understand what the idea is.
I love that. Are you frozen on my end? You're frozen. We're just having a heck of a time with internet connection today, aren't we?
But now.
There you go. There you go. Hi.
Okay. Yeah, it seemed fine on my end, but
perfect.
So yeah, the idea we're spreading is the essence of TED, and really that's the concept. So, there are there are a lot of speakers out there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say million, but there's millions, there's thousands, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is, everybody has a talk in them. Everybody has a story to tell. Even if you've never spoken in public, you have a story to tell. That doesn't mean that TED is the stage for you.
Right.
If you're gonna do a talk on a TED stage, the concept is an idea worth spreading, not just a really good story to tell. Doesn't mean you shouldn't tell your story. Go find the stage that's appropriate for that. But for TED, we want to have something that's unique, something that's a little disruptive, something that's a little bit a spin on something, a new perspective on something, whatever. That's what we want to see, and that's what we want to present on the stage, so that it has the best opportunity to fly and get out there and get 1 million views.
Absolutely. And do you have any tips on how people could expand their reach and people could do a talk and be able to expose their audience or get their talk out there? Like how would you go about doing that?
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to get into the ads and algorithms and everything else, you can, and we definitely recommend that for people who are on top of that, or even want to have help or hire an organization to do that. But at the end of the day, we're kind of a little bit at the mercy of TED and the platform. So once the video comes out, it comes out on the TED YouTube channel, and that's it. The video is TED's property. It's their video, and so you're kind of stuck just sharing that YouTube video. So whatever other mechanisms you can use to bring traffic to that video, that's really all we can do, right? Awesome. Preparedness is important, knowing that it's coming out, having your database with your followers, your people, email list, whatever, being prepared to blast it out and have everybody ready to go to watch it and like it and share it. That's how you're going to obviously generate more views, is by getting momentum quickly and pushing that momentum early on when the video first comes out. So
I love it. And can you also explain a little bit that these are independent owners of like licensing for each TED, and they're all over the world. There's hundreds of them that you can apply for. So how would people go about applying, and how would they find them? And you're at TEDxGrandePrairie, how would they apply if they wanted to speak there?
So yes, TEDx, again, with the regional idea, every TEDx has their own website and their own application process. Some are like university based, and they're by invite only. They don't even do applications. They just invite speakers that they want to bring onto their platform. So everyone is a little bit different. How to find the talks? Just go to TED.com. So www.TED.com. And actually, I've got it right here. I can't remember the tab. Yeah. So if you click on the Attend tab and go down to TEDx events, it'll show a map of the world with all the dots of where TEDx events are. Those are current events that are scheduled. Doesn't mean they're all there. So for example, our next event is in April. We haven't actually registered it with TED yet, but so we're not even on the map right now. But as soon as it's registered with TED, they'll put it on there and you'll be able to see that event. So when you click on it, it'll go to their website, it'll go to their information, and if there's an application tab, that's where you want to go. But if you just dial into the map to your area, or the area where if you want to travel across the country or to another country to go present your TED Talk, go apply at those events, right? And that's it. So every TEDx event is different. They handle things differently, but it is a nonprofit platform. So as an organizer, we're not out to make money off the platform. We're just bringing it to our community because we want it here, and because selfishly we want to be at TED Talks. So we might as well just run the event and have access and actually get to meet the speakers and chit chat with them and learn and get a deeper event out of it. So so basically just go to the website, find the events that you want to go to, find the event that you want to apply to, get the information. It takes a little bit of effort on your part, right? But like you said, anybody can do it. As long as you've got an idea where it's spreading, go apply and go apply.
Yeah, and the thing is you might apply for a bunch of them, right? Because every talk has a different theme, and maybe your talk is going to fit in better with others. But it's not to get discouraged. Like, there's a lot of people that hear no. You just keep applying until you find the right fit for you, right? Or until you refine your idea so that it's so crystal clear. Because I find that when people, I was watching a video the other day, and it really hit home for me that people that seem unmotivated just don't have clarity. They don't have clarity on what they want. They don't have clarity on how to do it, and they don't have clarity on where they're going. And as soon as they have that clarity and that vision and that idea, then all of a sudden everything else shows up.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Dave. I really appreciate it. I know that this is round 2 for us today because of a hiccup with Facebook, but I really appreciate your time today. I'm looking forward to standing on that red dot in April, and I'm so grateful that I've been put in front of you and be able to work with you. So thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Not at all. We very much look forward to having you. Your energy is contagious, and we can't wait to have you on our stage. It's going to be awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. You rock. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.